Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Happy New Year. Actually, today, the day I'm filming this anyways, January 1st. I don't know when I'll be uploading it, but it is a new year. New year, new me. I have so many New Year's. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really the kind of guy that does that. If you are, that's cool though. But 2022 was a huge year for me and my family. Ashley and I got married early in the year, then got Ashley pregnant, and now actually this month, January, is our due date. So it could pop out little mini Mike here any day now. So there's been a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And then also started building the house. So this is the 4-month, it's actually about a 4.5-month update. I filmed most of the 4-month update a week or two back, and then just got busy with Christmas and stuff and never quite finished it off. And rather than just doing a finishing it off kind of video, we got a fair bit more done in the last week or two. So I figured I'd just start the whole thing over and just do a 4-month update now. So this is gonna be a long one. It's a doozy. I'm gonna kind of talk about some details of the build. It's kind of an overcast. Well, it's kind of pretty back here. I think my exposure is too high, but kind of an overcast, chilly day today. But I've kind of developed this formula for these videos where I kind of start where my day starts and then kind of get in and walk you through the process. Over here, shipping containers have still been good. You guys may have seen in my Instagram stories, we had some crazy ones that blew the porta potty over. That sucked. It's back up now though. I actually brought the Polaris out and the plow on it, but I didn't actually plow with it yet because my neighbors plowed for me. So appreciate that. But shipping containers have been good. I've been emptying it out and filling it back up with the next stuff for the build. This shipping container is filled with tons of cabinets and vanities and stuff. This one I'm talking over here. And then this one's kind of been my home base still. So this is where my power center is, kind of where my tool storage is, my snack center. So this is kind of where I start the day. Come over here. I check on how my batteries are doing, and I'll talk at the end again more on the Ecoflow Delta, which is, I've been building the whole house off of this thing. Crazy. The Ecoflow Delta Pro with extra battery and the smart generator, insane. That's powered the whole build so far. And then actually, just getting ready to make some of this. AG1 by Athletic Greens sponsored another construction video. So we got this. I've actually been keeping it at home mostly because I've been drinking this even before I come these days, and I've kind of had the individual packets here for if I forget or if I miss it. But simple process here. Take a scoop, drop it into 8 to 12 ounces of water. Give it a little shake, chug it down. Got a little bit on my mustache. Lighting's better over here. So it's a nutritional drink that I drink every day, kind of as a morning ritual, morning routine to kind of just start my day off right, filled with 75 naturally sourced ingredients, vitamins, minerals, and actually a lot of gut health stuff. I didn't really care about gut health pretty much all of my life, but then my mom told me I got to start thinking about my gut health. So it's cool that AG1, a large part of their drink is a bunch of prebiotic and probiotic stuff in there to kind of help your gut stay healthy. And it's just one of those simple things you can do, especially if you're a New Year's resolution type person. New Year's resolution is start your day off healthier. And it has a lot of benefits that I care about, kind of improved mental focus and clarity. I'll talk more on this later, but I have been working myself to the bone. So any little bit of extra help I can get there is good. Helps with immunity. I don't want to be sick. I got a baby on the way. I don't want to take days off of the house. Helps with digestion, like I talked about earlier. And just kind of helps with energy and just makes you feel good. It's easy to do. Tastes, actually, I kind of like the taste. Tastes kind of like an earthy bubblegum flavor. I've talked about this in the previous videos. I still think that's the best description for it. And if you want to try it, they're giving some free stuff out with your first purchase at athleticgreens.com/LLOD. You'll get 5 free of these travel packs and then a year's supply of vitamin D3 K2 supplement. So I've been loving it. If you want to check it out, definitely go to that link. And thank you to AG1 for sponsoring this video. So yeah, we come in here, still get it started on the lev rack. I've actually cleared out enough room pretty much over here to build the rest of the lev rack system, which I'll probably do as soon as I get a free second. My super cheapest microwave on Amazon is still going strong here. The insulated box that I keep all my batteries and stuff warm, the Dometic fridge, has still been good. Granted, it's been many days and many hours below freezing, so my refrigerator is just frozen half the time, so that's been a little tricky. The freeze-thaw cycle actually, I think, has ruined all these protein shakes. So now I just keep those at home. Tool storage, and I don't know, I think I'll talk more about that stuff later, but the whole shipping container setup has been pretty sick. Pardon, I'm a little stuffy right now, so my voice is a little weird. So I've talked about in a lot of videos how important the sun is. So this is south, so the sun is right there. This would be what your north-facing driveway would be like. So I've been religiously shoveling this off, and because it just doesn't get any sun over here, and this is like a little ice rink here. So it's kind of a new development. And honestly, working in the cold sucks. My water bottle freezes, my fingers are cold, tools don't work as well, compressors are struggling, nail guns start freezing up. So I would choose to not build a house in the cold, but we've been pushing through, and luckily, hopefully we'll be able to get some heat in here soon, and a lot of the remaining work is on the inside. So since last time we brought electric and gas line down from the road, that was a pretty far run. You can't see the road from my house. You can't see the house from the road, but we trenched that, ton of trenching, a 4-foot deep trench for the electric and a 2-foot deep line for the gas. I think a little more than 2 foot. And we ran that all the way up to the side of the house. And so they got a transformer box and a pedestal over there. So I need to run that. We trenched to the house. I got to run that to the house, send power in, bring it all the way over into the boxes down here. I'll show you a little bit more of that inside, but that needs to be done. But since last video, what has happened? We got a lot of the siding on. So I actually contracted out another crew. They had a couple weeks to help me out. So they helped out with the soffit. Soffit's mostly done and siding's largely done. A lot of the green spots, the zip, I'm waiting on a corner piece that's just been back ordered forever, so we left the corners off, and some of this is gonna be tongue and groove, just like the soffits are, and the rest is hardy, so it's a cement panel, basically can't burn, so high fire rating, and we're doing some with this architectural smooth panel, and then some with the board and bat. I forget if I talked about this in a previous video, but this is just the primed standard color. This is not going to be the final color of the house. It's just was the cheapest panel to get and the most readily available. I was going to go with a pre-finished one, but I wanted to paint it anyway. That would have been better, honestly, than getting this and painting it, but this was significantly cheaper and a lot faster to get. So we have kind of this little transition piece between these on the architectural smooth pieces, and it's coming together pretty nice. Bulk of that side of the house is is board and bat, and we got all the windows in, so the windows look awesome. I flashed these mucho. Watched a million YouTube videos on flashing flashing windows. A lot of debate around that. Screws versus nails, nailing every hole, skipping, nailing the bottom, not nailing the bottom, flashing techniques. But basically super flash on the inside. We use stretch tape on the corners, then flashed over. I actually even use liquid flash additionally in the corners, so these windows are kind of crazy. These ones are actually under a full overhang, so I didn't do the liquid flash on these, but every other window, crazy flashed, and then above the window then gets your Z flash as well, which maybe you can see there. But we installed all of these windows. Some of these big tempered ones were beasts, and a couple of these panels are like 8 foot tall plus a 2 foot tall transom, but they're like one unit, so that was a 10 foot tall by 5 foot wide window. That one, I mean, actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And then this door is 1,000 pounds. This is a little, like a 52 inch by 98 inch door or something like that. Let me tell you a little story about this front door. So I think I talked about this a little bit in the other video, one of the first videos. Originally, I was gonna do a modular build. I contracted a home builder who specializes in modular homes, went through the process. There was a lot of misleading done in that first little bit. It was back in 2020 when everything went crazy with material shortages and prices. So I don't completely blame the builder, but I kind of do. They basically told me we can do everything in modular that you can do in a regular home. It's definitely not true, and it's not true in the slightest. So what happened was their timeline that they told me originally, which was one of the selling points because I wanted to build it fast, got pushed out like 6 to 9 months. And then they couldn't do half the stuff they told me they were going to be able to do. Anyway, they told me they could do everything. Then they told me they couldn't do everything. Like we couldn't have the ceilings this tall. They couldn't put 10-foot windows in. So what it came down to basically was like, all right, all the cool stuff you want to do, you're going to have to build on site, and you'll just use modular for like a small portion, blah, blah, blah. And that whole thing fell apart, and I lost a good chunk of money on that. And that's when I was just like, I think I could build a house. So I just decided I was gonna build it myself with the help of my friend Jim, who's been helping me every step of the way with this build. The reason I mentioned that was one of the things that I wanted was a cool front door. It was like I was cutting costs and trimming down the budget on almost everything, but I still wanted a cool front door. So this is the door that I ordered. I ordered it about 1.5 years ago. It's a pivot door. One of these doors that pivots in the middle. It's cool. I always thought they were cool. I wanted one, so I ordered it about 1.5 years ago. I've had it for sitting in a storage unit for almost a year. During that time, from when I ordered it and now, I cut that modular deal. I redesigned the whole house myself, got it re-engineered and everything. And then, but I engineered it for the door still. But then once we started excavating, we got out here and realized driveway is going to be really weird, so we flipped the whole house, mirrored it. That set me into a big delay, another 4 or 5 months delay, because I was just waiting forever for the county to approve literally not a single change on the house. All I did was mirror it. Everything else was the same. Everything else was already approved, so I was like, I'll just mirror it and it'll go quick. That took 3 months to get approved before I could start building. And then that set me behind. My foundation guys were now all booked out, and that basically, mirroring the house set me back 5 months, probably. So I'll probably make a video summing up all of the frustrations I've had building my own house later. But all that to say, this door, originally I bought for the proper swing when the house was mirrored. Now, when I mirrored the house, I kept the door, and I kind of forgot about it. I was just like, oh yeah, everything will work. All the doors and windows, they're all work. So we just got going, started building it, and then sooner came time to put the door in, and I was like, oh crap, the door swings the wrong way. But these doors are so expensive, custom door, couldn't return it. They're hard to sell. Getting a new one would be another 4 months or so, and money that I didn't want to spend. So we just put this door in, and I only point that out because someone would say something, but pretty much everyone, actually everyone that I've talked to that's come and seen the house is like, oh, I wouldn't even have known it swung the wrong way if you didn't mention it. But it's one of those things you got to think about. This door is supposed to swing this way so it leaves you open into the rest of the house. But mine swings this way. Now this area isn't super small or crammed or anything, so it's probably fine. And this door actually opens super wide. So it doesn't really feel limiting, but those are the frustrations of my door, which was the first thing I bought for the house. But it's in now, and that was 1,000 pounds, and that was a pain. So this door here, I ordered maybe 1.5 years ago. It's been sitting in my storage unit for, well, maybe I ordered a little over a year ago. Been sitting in the storage unit for a good 7-8 months. And it's the last little bit of the house project that we've been dreading because this door is like 1,000 pounds. So, back the trailer up to where it's going and we'll see how it goes. Jim's looking forward to it. Luckily, we had Jim and myself and then the other crew that was helping with soffit and siding. They were all here, so 5 of us lifted it up in the hole. No issues, and it installed super easy. But yeah, now we have all the doors and windows in, which is really nice. These all came with this film on. I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of dulls down the window a lot. I didn't take them off all the windows, so most of these windows look a little cloudy. It's just because they still have the film on them. But I did take them off these front windows just because I wanted to. So this, again, I talked about it earlier in the series, but my window, I didn't do anything too crazy with the window pack. These are all standard sizes. There's not a single custom order thing here. These doors, I wanted the feel of a big wall wall of glass without spending $50,000 on a door. So these are 8 foot by 8 foot, 8 foot by 8 foot doors, which I still feel, I mean, they're the biggest patio door I've ever had, and none of my friends or anything have patio doors this big, so they feel really big to me, but apparently it's just kind of a standard common thing, just like a basic person door. And I am a basic person, so that was good. But this is basically 2 8 foot by 8 foot doors that kind of give the feel of like a 16-foot wall here. I did, in case I win the lottery later or something, have them engineer this header span to be able to span the whole distance. So if I wanted to punch that whole thing out and replace it with a single door, then I can. The thing I like about this door, though, is I set it up to where one opens there and one opens there. That's better for venting, that's better for access. I'm gonna put this is really the kind of the dining room here. So put the dining table in the middle, and you won't have to like walk around the dining table to get out. So I chose to put the openings on the outside. Stoked about that. And this is the deck. So deck is still just OSB for now, but we did get all of the soffit in. And again, this is not a super high-end build. Like, it certainly feels like the nicest house that I have certainly ever owned by a long shot or lived in or experienced, but I was cutting costs in a lot of places, and rather than doing like a hemlock or even a cedar or anything else that's way more expensive, this is just cheapo, run-of-the-mill pine tongue and groove, the absolute cheapest way I could do this. And this is gonna be never gonna see weather, never gonna see anything. So it's pretty cool. I can stain it later if I want to, and I think the look is really cool because I'm gonna do dark. I'm not sure what color paint or anything I'm gonna do on the exterior, but it's gonna be a nice dark and light contrast. I know it's kind of trendy, but I don't care about trends. I just care about what I like. So you can see here's all the board and bat going on, roof on, gutters on. I have a lot of just boards and stuff along the sides of the house because I don't have my gutters ran yet. So this is just, well, I have my gutters, I don't have my downspouts ran yet. And so it's just dripping down, and I kind of have an ice rink down here, and I'm trying to mitigate splashes against the house. But that is good. And the windows, I went with all black. So these are Anderson 100s. These are like kind of a, I forget, Fibrex or something. These are on the cheaper end of the spectrum. And then the Marvins are one of their cheaper ends that I went with. I think these doors, I went a little nicer on my 2 south-facing patio doors, and then the rest are just pretty cheap fiberglass Marvin. Well, not pretty cheap, they're expensive for me, but in the big scheme of windows, apparently people spend a ton of money. Some of the other people I talked to were talking about how they're doing custom homes and the window packs themselves were like $300,000-$400,000, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So I feel like my windows were pretty cheap overall, and I kind of got a lot of them for me anyway. I didn't put as many on the north side of the house, but still it's a nice bright house even on this overcast day. So these are the ones that I was talking about earlier. Is 10-foot height, 5-foot wide. This is an 8-foot by 8-foot patio door with a 2-foot transom. And then this is the kitchen area. It's a 5-foot by 8-foot door with 2 roughly, I think 30 or 36 inch wide casement windows on the side. So really happy with how the whole window and patio door pack turned out. I'll show you what's going on in the basement later, but we got all those in, and being able to cut down on all of the wind and everything in here has been super nice. So let's go out here real quick. I think I'll get garage doors next week, and then this place will be pretty much all closed in. This is all my insulation. I have an ungodly amount of insulation, a crazy amount of insulation. So this is all Rockwool. I've actually partnered with Rockwool on this build. I'll be talking more about Rockwool later, but I sought them out specifically, wanted to insulate my house with this stuff. This is mineral wool. I won't go too deep, but has great insulation properties, easy to work with, great fire resistant properties as well. This house, like I said in previous videos, is never ever gonna burn down. Lots of insulation all along the side of the house. A little more here, then a whole nother semi-truck. This Rockwool comfort bat, pretty stout stuff. Borrowed my neighbor's John Deere with hay fork attachments for this job. Not ideal, but gotta make it work. Well, this was a big insulation day. Delivery from Rockwool. Thank you, Steve, for letting me borrow your tractor. Got a lot of insulation here. So, giant walls of this. Insulation for days that way. This is the ceiling insulation, R38. I'm doing 2 layers of that. And I had a lot of people asking about this. So this isn't cheap fiberglass insulation. This is like very good quality insulation. So I'm insulating all my exterior walls, and then I'm also putting a product called Safe and Sound. Where is it? It's maybe on the side of the house, on all the interior walls. And so that's gonna help deaden the sound in between rooms and everything. And I'm gonna have nearly R100 insulation in the ceiling, and then with the Zip R insulated panel, and I am gonna spray foam and then bat, I'm gonna have a R30 plus wall assembly. So a pretty well insulated home. And so I got some questions about spray foam. I am gonna spray foam, closed cell spray foam. I'm gonna have someone else do it, and they're gonna do about 2 inches and I think 3 or 4 inches on the ceiling in the roof in the attic, though I don't have an attic up there. And that's gonna seal everything up really good and add a good amount of insulation. So I'm gonna basically spray foam and bat. So that's why I have all of this insulation, so I can capitalize on kind of the benefits of both routes of that stuff. So insulation come in, I don't know, in a few weeks, maybe a month. But yeah, been storing all that in the garage. The other thing that I forgot to mention, all of the windows on the south side of the house where the sun's gonna be coming in, it's a bummer it's not sunny out right now, because the sun actually, it's really cool. It hits almost the back wall. So it's about what I was planning, to where I think the space will heat up quite a bit with sun, passive solar, thermal, radiation, whatever you want to call it, is going to heat the house. So these windows, all the windows need to be like glazed and have U values, and have to have minimum U values by code or for the county or whatever. And when you have a window, I chose the special glaze. It's nothing custom. It's one of the things they offer. The glaze that allows the most UV and the most heat in on all the southern windows. It does lower the U value though, so on the back of the home, I did the one with the highest U value because that's not going to get any sun coming in. So south windows, glaze that lets in the most sun heat, and then north window, just the highest U factor I could go. Nothing crazy back here, no triple pane or anything like that. These are all dual pane because I'm poor. But, in a perfect world, I would have gone triple pane back there. So I am going to do automated curtains and cellular shades and stuff to kind of seal this off, set all that on timers and everything. So I will get more R value than a triple pane out of like a cellular shade or a curtain, while cutting costs down and then adding some privacy and stuff. So that's kind of the plan. In the world of windows, you'll see boxes. So I've started laying out all the boxes for the rooms where I want to run low voltage as well with some of these combo boxes, figuring out where I want all my switches, where I want them 3-wayed, and then brushing up on all the NEC code about outlet spacing, positioning, how many circuits you need in the kitchen, the dedicateds that you need for microwave and fridge and bathrooms, and 20 amp circuits there. I'll talk more about this in the future as well, but I'm gonna do basically all my outlets 20 amp, so mostly 12.2 here, and then all of my light switches and stuff in a 15 amp, mostly 14.2, some 3s for the 3-ways and whatnot. And then I'll be wiring big power, running gas lines. I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself because none of this stuff is in yet, but I'm gonna put a gas heater in there, gonna run a big electric line into the garage for charging EVs, gonna kind of set all that stuff up. So what they've been doing lately, I'm not doing the plumbing in this house. I have a plumber that's doing all that. So he's been ripping along with all the drains. He just started running some of the water lines while we have been finishing fire blocking, drywall backing. We just put in this fireplace. Got this from Rio Grande here in Colorado. It's a Heat-A-Late or something rather. 60-inch wide gas fireplace. So that's mostly for the ambiance, but also I think it generates like 50,000 BTUs. So I have a bunch of different ways to heat the house. Gas fireplace, I'll probably put a wood burning stove in later. I do have radiant floors just in the basement. And then the other trade that's been here is mechanical. So the HVAC or HVAC, if you want to call it that, they've been running all of their duct work. So one of the things that's been nice as owner builder, they would just put stuff wherever they want to put stuff, right? Wherever it makes sense, by the windows, this or that. But I was here, so I was like, had some specific requests for certain placements. So, they were placing stuff in the bedroom. I was like, I'll probably have furniture there, so let's do this. And then so I was able to get them to do specific placements per my request. Here's the master bathroom. And I was like, this is the shower. I was like, I'm gonna put towels here, so let's put a vent right there so it'll help dry the towels and stuff easier. So I was able to kind of make some specific requests around that. I'll show you the unit. They actually put the furnace in down below. And there's been a lot of stuff going on in the basement that we'll get to here soon. And again, if you see something wrong, feel free to call me out. But as far as like trimmers or jack studs and all of this stuff, this is all engineered. It's all installed to spec. But yeah, that's what's been kind of going on On the main floor, still got our nice lawn chairs here to hang out and eat lunch. And the whole job site is actually, it's probably messier than it's been for the entire duration of the build. Yeah, there's a lot of electrical stuff I want to talk about, but I think I'll just save that for once we're kind of all wired in. But as far as like running Cat 6 to corners for security camera, I have running Cat 6. Well, I haven't actually run the Cat 6, but I will be running Cat 6, Cat 6A, whatever, to some specific places to put in Wi-Fi extenders and repeaters. But still, I think this is going to turn out real nice. This is kind of just the main area, big open floor plan like I like. It just feels real good. And it'll be real nice when we don't have a dumpster and porta potty and shipping containers out there, and we just kind of have a nice little field with a view. So let's go down to the dungeon. Sorry, we had a rail here for those guys that were concerned about it, but we took it down and it's down now. So I still got to get the stairs made up. Those will be really cool. I'll talk about those more later though. So the downstairs kind of is the same layout as the upstairs, big open area here. We got those 2 8-foot doors that actually stack the 2 8-foot doors above, if you can tell. So, and then this is under the deck back here, but the deck, I pushed it up pretty high, so from kind of normal height here. And if you go back a little bit, you almost don't see the deck. It just kind of is looking out there into the backyard. If I've taught, this is kind of a repeat of a lot of stuff I've talked about in the past, but goes down to a little creek back there. That's kind of the wooded area. This is kind of I like the back of the house better, but that's the north side. So bulk of the windows are there due to the slope though. This is a full walkout basement, but that wall is all dirt. So on the other side of this foundation wall, I do have 4 inches of exterior insulation there, but running this whole wall down. These are the trunks for the supplies and returns. Mechanical room over here, bathroom there. And this big space here is like, I think it's 28 feet by like 45 feet. So it's kind of a massive, open, great room. So we'll probably put a little like kitchenette down here, some workout equipment, some games and stuff. I'm not a pool player or anything like that, but we'll probably put some of those kinds of stuff. And then kind of one of the things I'm excited about is a big home theater here. It's been a few years since I've had a projector, so I gotta research what's the new hotness these days, but basically a little home theater set in here, stairs down. Eventually this is the spot that I wanna put a wood burning stove so it radiates and heats everything. So here's the second mechanical room. This is where the furnace is and all of the ductwork. So I worked with them basically to push all of the ductwork to that side. I was a little bit naive. I didn't know I'd have to have a drop ceiling anywhere because I thought all this stuff could be run up in the joist, because in the joist I have this square box up here. I don't know if you can tell, in these engineered joists. And I thought it was gonna all go in there. So this is a quick tip. I'm the general contractor on the build. I don't really know what I'm doing. What I should have done is communicated with the truss designers and the HVAC, the tinners, to be able to tuck it all up into the trusses. It could have been done. It'd be a lot more work and communication, and they'd have to come in at different times earlier in the build process to do that. But what I would have had is a completely flat ceiling. Now these are slightly over 9-foot ceilings down there. They feel very tall. Even where this is dropped, it's gonna be an over an 8-foot ceiling here. And I don't have anything running down the middle or anything, but still, this is something I was pretty bummed about when they came in and told me they needed to run this massive dual trunk line across the whole basement. Was not happy about that, but it is what it is. With better planning earlier on, I probably would have been able to tuck all those ducts up and high, but it would have required me figuring that out about 6 months back. I did add strong back bracing to all of these to tighten these engineered floor trusses. I got a bunch of specs from the engineers and everything on that. I wanted to reduce some of the bounce on the floor, and then added this bracing. It's really fire blocking, draft stopping in there, but that also helped rigidify it up. This is all good. Engineers approved, good. Don't worry about it, but there's a lot of kind of debate about that. But what we don't want to happen is we have to do draft stopping. So a fire can go up in here and go, and apparently firefighters really don't like webbed trusses. We didn't do it all because this was just too complicated over here. But in this big open area, we did do some, and I may add a little more. So that's up in there. It did help. The strong back was a minimum of a 2x6 they wanted to run across to tie it in. That kind of helps reduce wobble, shares the load between trusses. I just jammed 2x12 up in there. So that actually helps stiffen the floors up quite a bit. And then we did finish framing out all of the rooms down here. This you saw in earlier episodes, all my radiant floor heat. Eventually I'll hook that up sometime down the road. But yeah, this is bathroom down here. This is gonna be kind of my office slash holster slash YouTube room. It's a pretty big room in here. And then these are a couple of the bedrooms down here, the bedrooms that have their own little patio doors that go out into the backyard. So, and then down here, actually, so I have 2 mechanical rooms, one down there, one here. One unique thing that I'm doing, I'm gonna have 2 hot water heaters, 1 gas, I do have natural gas here, and 1 electric. For the most part, I'm gonna have an inline water heater that's running a high GPM, high BTU, high GPM, that's gonna handle the showers and bathrooms, and then I'm gonna have an electric. So this is gonna be a gas one over here, and then I'm gonna have an electric one over there that's gonna handle kitchen, pantry, washing machine, all that stuff down there. I'm gonna have them connected, but valved off. So in a normal situation, that's gonna run that's gonna run that. 1 gas, 1 electric. Now eventually this house, it's gonna be connected to the grid normally, just because that's easier. It's gonna be easier to resell in the future. You gotta jump through a lot of hoops in Jeffco to try and have an off-grid house. So it's gonna be connected to the grid, but I'm gonna get solar, I'm gonna get a battery backup, so the whole house I'm gonna be able to flip a switch and go off-grid on the whole house. I'm on a well, septic, so I'm gonna be able to flip it. So I'm going a lot of electric appliances so I can power the whole house and run everything off of solar and battery. But in a normal short-term power outage, we get a crazy blizzard or something, power goes out for some other reason, natural gas still keeps flowing. So a lot of times when the power goes out, I'll use my natural gas stuff and not the electric stuff, because a lot of times there will be a lot of snow, and snow covers the solar, and solar can't recharge the battery, so eventually you're gonna deplete it unless you go out and clean the snow or the sun comes. But anyway, normal power outage, I'm gonna be able to flip a switch here and power the whole house off of the gas water heater. Now, a full grid down, apocalypse type stuff, I'm gonna be able to flip that valve and run the whole house off of the electric water heater. So that's one little kind of preppery thing that I am implementing at this point. Okay. Shout out to my brother and father-in-law, Evergreen Excavation. They actually smoothed all my dirt out, did my trenches. It's been super helpful. So I think that's about it for the home. I may have missed some stuff, but feel free to ask me questions down below. And a lot of you guys have been tracking basically how I've been powering the home. So up top, I have 400 watts of solar, and then around back, I actually shoveled myself a path. This is one of the reasons I want to do a ground mount solar for my house, like a permanent ground mount solar rather than a roof mount, because this is 800 watts of solar, Ecoflow, two 400 watt Ecoflow panels that I have back here. Disclaimer, they're not really designed for permanent mounting, but I have had them out 24/7 out here. Built a little rack for them. So I come out here after a big snowstorm, brush all the snow off. This is face south, obviously, and that has been powering those 800 watts of solar, and this battery has single-handedly powered this whole build so far, which has been insane. The other trades and stuff are always blown away by that, and I am too, but it's been kind of a science experiment for me, so I'm kind of updating you on the process. So some of the issues I've been running into is cold. Batteries, lithium doesn't like the cold, so I built this little 2-inch foam insulated box just from some leftover insulation I had from insulating my slab. So cut little holes in it. I run an extension cord into here. That goes over there. So just a quick update. I've actually been using this box just to kind of keep all my stuff warm. You can see here we have Ecoflow Delta Pro and one expansion battery. And then up here we have a regular Ecoflow Delta and one expansion battery for it as well. So pretty much everything just runs off of this. Now I have this for a backup. If this thing gets depleted or run dry, this thing's almost always full because it's connected to solar as well. And I'll just plug in here and run what I need to run off of that. It is also on full-time hook into DC, powering my Dometic fridge and freezer over here. This is a dual zone, I think it's a 75 Dometic. So one side's freezer, one side's fridge. So this little guy's been powering that 100% of the time now for 4.5 months. And this has been powering everything else. We got the AC, and I actually just have this little adapter. So I run the extension cord into the 30 amp plug. Now, there's some disclaimers. You don't want to do that necessarily, but I know what I'm doing. So I'm doing that just so I can pull max juice off of this huge gauge extension cord that I have. And this system has just been running like a top. Insane. We've had a few days that were like super cold, negatives for like a whole day. I added this little, it's a germination mat underneath here. This is hooked up actually to the regular Delta. So I'll have that kick on and warm up this whole box because lithium doesn't like super hot, but doesn't like super cold either. So if it's very cold, I'll kick that on. And then with this insulation is able to keep this whole box nice and warm and just keep on running. The crazy thing about this that I've never talked about in the past is, so I have Starlink here. Starlink is powered by this. I'm running into power strip, same power strip that manages all of my battery charging and microwave everything. Also powers my power strip. I have a few LTE cameras, security cameras around, and then I also have a Blink camera system that has cameras in here and around. Those ones are powered by the Starlink. So basically when I'm at home, I can connect to my Ecoflow batteries, check on the battery level and everything. And for the Delta 2, from home, I can turn on and off the AC. Sorry, my fingers are numb right now. So if I'm like, oh, it's going to be really cold tonight, but I'm not here, I can click the AC unit on, and then that will click on the heated blanket. The AC for the Delta Pro is just always on 24/7. I keep it always on, so it's always powering the internet. And then the other Delta I have for basically powering other stuff. So if there's stuff that I only want to click on sometimes, I have it on the Delta. So that's pretty crazy. I haven't talked about this whole system before, but since I have internet here 24/7, I can always connect to these batteries and check the status and everything of them 24/7. Now, some days, overcast, lots of snow, or we just have a bunch of guys on site powering a bunch of crap just sucking these batteries dry. I talked about in the last video, I do now have, Ecoflow sent me all this stuff. I've talked about it in the past, you know, I don't want to just beat a dead horse. Ecoflow did send me these stuff, but this is all, you know, I don't have to say any of this stuff. My commitment to show it in a video was done long ago, but I'm just stoked on these things. That's why I'm talking about them a bunch here. So this is the smart generator. And so this I have hooked up to the Delta Pro, and then I also have it hooked up to the Delta. So the Delta I just have hooked up to this little extension cord that's out here all the time. I pull the smart generator out, set it here, and then charge it. The smart generator has a ton of features that I'm not utilizing to the fullest, but you can keep it if you have an area you can put it. I don't want to keep it outside because, you know, someone may steal it or something, and I don't have a good way to protect it. In here, it has a CO2, like low oxygen sensor. So I couldn't run it in here because it would just shut off. So I always got to put it outside. But if you connect it to that, then it's kind of always powered. And I could also connect to this remotely through the app I just showed as well. And also you can set a bunch of stuff to auto. This thing will auto start and then start charging this battery until it gets to, and you can set it, you know, I want it to auto start once this battery gets to 20%, and then I want it to shut off when it gets to 80%, whatever. You can set all that stuff in the app. But this thing will auto start and auto shut off at predetermined times. I haven't been using it like that. I've just been pulling it out to charge it up. But basically on a really high draw day or there's not much sunlight or whatever, I'll pull this out for an hour or 2 hours at the end of the day and just charge it back up. So that has been working awesome. All right, well, I was dumb. My battery light on my camera is flashing at me, so it's gonna die at any moment here. So I'm just gonna wrap it up there, and I hope you enjoyed the update. Again, let me know down below if there's specifics on what you wanna see in this build. I think I'll still do like the budget breakdown, and I'm gonna dive a little deeper into certain aspects, but up until now, I've just been kind of doing some updates. So, hope you liked it. Whew, out of breath, talking too much. But anyway, appreciate the comments, appreciate the thumbs up, appreciate the concern. I've had people say like, you seem really tired, Mike. You seem out of it. You're not like you used to be in your old videos. I've talked about this a lot too. It's because I am crazy overwhelmed. I'm working myself way too hard, but it's for a short period of time because I'm trying to get this thing done as soon as humanly possible. I'll talk more about the mental I haven't had any mental breakdowns, but I'll talk more about, I want to just make videos about like what all is involved, because you see a house being built, but there is so much more involved with me being the general contractor and having to choose literally everything. I'm buying every electrical thing, I'm buying the wire, I'm choosing, I'm researching, I'm seeing what code it. It's just a lot of work. So I keep glancing over to see when my battery's gonna die. Okay. All right, guys, life is good. Hope you have an amazing start to 2023, and we'll catch up real soon. All right. Oh, also, this may be the last video you see this in, because we're about 3 months in. Ashley is super sick of it, doesn't like it at all. I honestly don't like it either. It's more of an experiment to see what I could grow. If I had more, I think I would like it. Like up here, but I don't really like it right now. But I've gotten hundreds of comments from you guys saying you guys love it, so I appreciate the kind words, even if you're just lying to me, but they're probably gonna go. All right, take care.